Hello, you all. Hi, it is Tis. Good day, good afternoon, good evening. I hope all are well. Hope all are safe. So I just uploaded a video from yesterday, and literally sleeping. As I was sleeping, I was tossing and turning just based off of everything that was on my mind. So it's kind of like I'm asleep, but it's like something's kind of bothering me. And what really bothered me yesterday was I seen a bunch of there was a bunch of Palestinians literally in the middle of the streets of LA. And you're thinking, like, well, you could probably think, well, what's wrong with that? And I'm thinking, like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, you can be here in the streets of LA, but it's like they're clogging up the streets of LA, and I guess it's like a protest for the war, to end the war. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, stop the violence. That's cool. But it's like the way they were stomping, though, it's kind of like it bothered me because it's like we're a long way from Palestine. We're nowhere near overseas, and you have to travel just to get to the ocean. So I'm thinking, like, to even call yourself going overseas, that's a long way from overseas. And again, I'm not saying that you can't tell it on the mountain to where now everyone is saying the same thing all over the world, but I'm thinking the way they were stomping here is the way they should have been stomping there, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because it's kind of like I kind of felt a hint of militant, like kind of like, oh, okay, well, there's nothing keeping this same war that's overseas from blasting off here. And I spin off to what I wanted to make as far as this video. I'm thinking when it comes to your worst enemy, and you will think like, oh, okay, my enemy is the boogeyman or the devil, or, you'll think like it's, something in your nightmares, or Friday the 13th, oh, that's my worst enemy. And I'm thinking, no, sometimes, most of the time, or all the time, you're your own worst enemy. Because it's literally is going to be you, your own people who look like you, who are going to set you up for failure, and if you allow me to explain, more than once, as I remember how I mentioned how you'll get different people say, oh, pick a side. And then you have other fellow nappy heads going upside your head telling you to pick a side on the war. So you want me to stop, literally, you want me to stop dying. I had my own damn war. But you want me to stop dying to focus on a war that I know nothing about. I couldn't point you to the first step on how to get to Palestine or how to get to anywhere overseas that's not here. I couldn't even point to you where, east, like from here, unless I see the mountains, I won't be able to tell you where to go. Oh, make a left on it. No. So if I'm not sure what's going on here, it wouldn't make any sense for me to go put my eagle eyes on to see what's going on over damn seas. And again, I'm not saying that there's not a connection. Because like I say, while they're warring here, there's nothing keeping that same war to come here. You see what I'm saying? So maybe that's what the connection is. Maybe that's why they're saying, oh, stop what you're doing and focus on it because it's coming here next, which is fine. But I have my own war. Like I say, we are actively being shot in the back now. We are actively getting our bodies emptied of our guts. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, and I say, it's going to be your own people. That's your own worst enemy because it's only nappy heads that's telling you. I cannot think of his damn name, probably because he's not that important, but, and I know for sure he's not an American Negro, so to speak. But is it Mark Lamont Hill? I don't know exactly where he's from. I didn't look up his background, but for something's telling me that he's not an American Negro. But he says, oh, reasons why black people should support the war. And I'm thinking, like, why the hell should we support something that we A, don't know nothing about, and B, if I'm not supporting myself, I should probably sit down somewhere and see. If I have my own war, I should probably sit down somewhere and seek shelter and seek cover for my damn self. You see what I'm saying? So you want me to come out of hiding, you want me to take off my military gear to go overseas to entertain what's going on. And I'm saying that's going to be your worst enemy because it's going to be your people pushing you down the stairs while you're already in trouble. As I mentioned too, a lot of us are being gutted right now for our organs. And most of that stuff is not going to hit the news. And you're not going to hit the news because you're just going to be labeled as missing. The vultures probably been already eating your body, with what was left of your body after you get emptied and gutted. And that's even if you can even be identified. You're like, okay, well, we have 12 bodies here. But if nobody picks it up, then it's like, okay, you're just 12 bodies here that don't nobody know who you are, where'd you come from. So I'm thinking, and like I say, most of our cases do not get any airtime, let alone did you even get the acknowledgement, hey, you're missing or something like that. A lot of people that are missing, you're just missing, and I only know you're missing because I'm saying it, not because you hit the news. And that's another thing too. We don't hit the news. Something happens to me, you, or any other fellow nappyhead, you'll be lucky to make the news. But as far as this war, at least you can say, and I'm not saying that we all don't have our own war or all don't have our own problems, but at least you can say for this particular war that's active right now, the one that's actually hitting the news, at least you can say that's hitting the news. So basically, that's the priority. Follow the war that's on the news, and to hell with everything else that's not on the news. You see what I'm saying? My thing is, if you don't make the news, then you're probably not as important to the world. Now, I'm not saying that you're not important. Maybe you're very important, which is probably why you don't hit the news. But if it doesn't hit the news, it's kind of like, I can't tell you what I want you to hear, and I won't tell you what I don't want you to hear, because it's not coming from the news. You see what I'm saying? So if it hits the news or hits social media, then it must be a big deal. And obviously we're not a big deal because we'll be lucky to make the news. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is, if I'm literally being gutted and buried as we speak, to where there's now a new city being built on top of my head, and you want me to stop what I'm doing to support a war that I know nothing about, that's actually getting airtime. I think to me, I feel like if you're getting news time or getting airtime, you're doing a lot better than what's being portrayed. And I don't know if that means you're a lot better because you're controlling the news, you're controlling what goes in and out of the news, or you're controlling what's being shown and what's not being shown. I think that's a pretty major move, and I think that's actually very powerful too. If I can say, hey, focus on my war, I'm being starved out, and this is me giving the message to you. That's a very powerful position. And I'm not saying just because I'm in a powerful position that I can't be caught up in the woes of war. But what I am saying is, at least they are getting airtime. At least they're saying, hey, we're at war. When was the last time that you've seen nappy-headed people on the news? Hey, we're coming up missing. Hey, a lot of people are after our organs. Or hey, we're being targeted. Or hey, we're being murdered for fun. And it's been going on for centuries. And nobody seems to give a damn, and they still don't. You see what I'm saying? So it's, but again, I have to stop dying to focus on a war that I know nothing about. And I'm thinking that's the part where it's like, that's the part where it's going to be your worst enemy. Because again, I have to stop dying to focus on a war that I know nothing about. But guess who's telling me that I should be getting involved? And outside of it coming from the news, it's your fellow nappyhead getting on telling, oh, why black people should get involved. So you want me to stop looking for the rest of my organs to entertain a war that I don't even know it's real, to tell you the truth. That could just be a cover-up just to, tell them that we're having a war overseas, so by the time we get there, they'll think it just spread here. Hell, because for all we know, it's probably nothing going on overseas, and they're just getting us warmed up for the war that's going to come here to hit us across the head once again. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. But all I'm saying is, if we're all on survival mode, or we're all on, got our military gear on, and it's like, until this war is over and until the smoke clears, I can't really check on you or can't see what's going on with you. You have to wait for the smoke to clear to go, okay, let me go check on this area, or let me go check on this headquarters, or let me check this base to see if it's cool, because I know a bomb was dropped there. But unless you're actively fighting, you can't actively move around in active war, But I don't know. I just found that really troubled me. How you get so many people. Oh, stop what you're doing. I understand you're missing her. I understand that you're, being poisoned and literally being genocided as we speak. And then they mentioned too the Holocaust. They said stop the Palestinian or the Gaza Holocaust or something like that. And I'm thinking. And that's another thing too. Now with that Holocaust, and I honestly, I don't know who's who. Would those be the Jews, I guess? The Jews, or who's ever in the Middle East, Palestine, or the Israel? I don't know what that connection is as far as with the Jews, but you'll think like, okay, that Holocaust was years ago. Maybe we'll say maybe a century or two ago. I don't have the exact date, but we'll say that was a long time ago. Okay, well then, we're gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. But for the Negro Holocaust, that's been going on for centuries and has not stopped. If anything, is getting worse. And notice how, I don't want to say it'll never hit the news, But it'd be one of them things where it's not important enough for me to stop what I'm doing, for the world to stop what they're doing, to focus on you getting killed. And I don't know if that has to do with the position of power. Perhaps we don't hold enough power for the world to care. But whatever it is, there shouldn't be a double standard. My thing is that if I'm not worthy enough for you to acknowledge that I'm being murdered as we speak, then you shouldn't be asking someone who has no value to stop what they're doing to entertain a war that they know nothing about. You see? And that's really troubling to the spirit, because it's like, okay, you don't, my life doesn't matter, but you want my feet to the ground to fight for you. I don't know how to explain it, but I just know it rubs me the wrong way. But y'all know, just keep that in mind. Watch out for these. It's coming from these. I don't know if these people are paid. That's why I'm not a very trusting person, especially if you come with naps or melanin. I do not trust you, because those are, like I say, those are going to be the ones to use to send you down a slippery slope for your demise, because it's getting to the point now where you don't have to use the boogeyman or the devil anymore. Your neighbor's going to do it for you. But anyway, be well, be safe, and I will return.